Hey guys, this is Aim High Comics, and I've got a haul for you. It's been a long time coming. I've been letting it pile up a little bit. It's not too much, but there's some interesting stuff in here, and a couple of surprises. I bought a couple of lots, like small lots, just random books in it, just to get one book, but I'll get to that. First off, I got some 90s goodness. Got Black Wolf #1 embossed cover. Newsstand, direct edition. Embossed. So when we get to embossed covers, that's when we're in trouble in the modern stuff. Brink of Destruction #1 from High Top Comics, and this is a Boris Vallejo cover, painted cover. Boris Vallejo. He has a lot of iconic covers on the Savage Sword of Conan run, and this was just happened to be in the lot, and I was super stoked. This is an awesome cover, very detailed. Boris Vallejo, please come back from our retirement. And next, this was in the lot. It's Barbie Twins Adventures #1 from Topps Comics. Now, I started looking at this book because I was trying to figure out who the Barbie twins were, because it sounded sort of familiar, and I think they're real people. When I started flipping through it, I saw pictures of the real people, and so I don't know anything about them. Anyways, I started flipping through it because I was like, this book looks kind of stupid. But it has a double cover. It has this cover. Then the back, you gotta flip it over, and it has that cover, and it's different stories. So this side has one artist, your typical comic, But this side had a different artist, and it's actually pretty good. I started flipping through it, and the art's actually not that bad. Now it's a little, but it's not bad. I hadn't heard of any of the artists on this, but the art was actually pretty good on the one side. So yeah, if you see that and it's in the 50-cent dollar bin, pick it up. Not too bad. Like I said, I don't know who they are, so I'm gonna look them up after this. I'm sure I'll be thrilled with what I find. Next, got Bree #1 by Jim Starlin from Malibu Comics. Black cover, so of course it's jacked up. Complete black cover. Never heard of this and hadn't read it. I'm gonna read it though. Jim Starlin, why not? This one, another shiny cover from the 90s. Blade the Vampire Hunter #1 from Marvel's Midnight series. Shiny, and it's in Mylar. I don't have a comic shop anymore, so I can't buy supplies on the regular. But I had some Mylar, and I started putting all these books in Mylar. And I got to this book and put it in, and I went to reach for another piece of plastic Mylar for the next book, and I'm out. So I don't have a comic shop within 2 hours from here. So I'm going to figure out something. But pretty cool looking book. Shiny. Not going to read it. Blade's not my thing. I like the first Blade movie, but after that I didn't really like them. Next up, I always wanted this book. It's not her first appearance or anything. It was an Uncanny X-Men something, but I've always liked Dazzler. I don't have her first appearance. Maybe one day. But Dazzler #1. I believe this is her first solo series, or one shot, or book, or whatever. I've never seen a second book. I need to look it up. I'm sure there was a short series on this. But I thought this was a cool cover, so I picked it up. I want to say it was in this group. I don't remember. I got this really cheap. I got this whole thing for $4. I don't think it was too bad. Plus the next one that I'm about to show. So $4 for all that, plus this Black Canary Oracle Birds of Prey #1. First appearance of Birds of Prey. I remember when they were talking about Harley Quinn and doing another movie and maybe they might do Birds of Prey. The rumor was they're going to do Birds of Prey. In this book, it's from the 90s. I don't think it was a high print run. Not many people bought it. Not people have it. I remember going on eBay looking for it before the hype train got on it, and there was just no copies. There was like 1 or 2 copies. I think the book shot up to like $150 or something like that, and then when they said it was Gotham City Sirens, plummeted. I think they're going for like maybe $20 if anybody's buying them. I looked on eBay right before this video, and there was only like 2 copies on eBay, period. So I know it's not a high print run, because at the height of it, I think there was only like maybe 10 copies on eBay at one time, and now there's 2. They're just sitting there. I also looked at sold listings, and a 9.8 went for like 100 and I want to say 150. It was either 120 or $150. 120 popped in my mind, but it might have been $150. This book is pretty thick. I picked it up. I was like, it's got some weight to it. But I got all these books for $4 on an auction site, not eBay. I'll keep that auction site to myself because it's not typically a site that people go to for comics. But they have a lot of comics, and some people know about it. They usually don't talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. It's not Everything But the House. It's not Shop Goodwill. It's something else. So if you want to know what it is, send me a message, and I might tell you what it is. I just don't want competition because I'm, getting stuff for $4. Just saying. Bizarre Adventures, number 25 magazine. Each of these books like this, these Bizarre Adventures, had 3 stories in them. And this one had a Black Widow story. Lady Damon and Daughters of the Dragon. And it's got Chris Claremont, Michael Golden, Terry Austin, Bob McLeod's in this. I mean, it's all like these magazines. You usually get like a who's who of artists from the day. And I kind of missed that about the magazine side stuff. The Michael Golden stuff in this is it's not good. So I'm not going to show you that. But the Black Widow story, which is not Michael Golden, the art is very good. Good old black and white. I love the black and white. You see a lot more details. You see what the artist was originally intending. That's not messed up by the colorist. I think a lot of artists, their drawings, their sketches, I think they get ruined by the colorist sometimes. If you don't have a good colorist, they can make you look bad, but a good colorist can make you look really good if you're not a great artist. And there's some out there. Next, I've got Bizarre Adventures 27. I got these 2 magazines, I think for like $2 or $3 on that same site. $2 or $3, didn't pay very much. Great cover. It's got 3 stories in it, just like the other one. It has a Phoenix story, Iceman story, and a Nightcrawler story. And the art in here is fantastic also. But it's got the very first story with the Phoenix is John Buscema and Klaus Janson. George Perez is in here, Bob Layton, Dave Cockrum, Chris Claremont does a script for the Phoenix. And I mean, just John Buscema. I mean, there's a splash page. I mean, he just nails everything he ever did. I mean, just fantastic. Fantastic art. Here's another page. Some of his stuff here. I mean, just fantastic. Just a great book. I mean, and the story's good in this. If you ever see this laying around in the dollar bin or something, put it in the magazine section, buy it. This is actually, I read the stories and the art's fantastic. Um, I would recommend this to anyone. It was shocking how good it was. It makes new books look stupid. Okay, I get to my two last big books, individual books, and let me just say that the book I'm about to show you doesn't go with these books with this characters in, don't go as much as you think they do. It's almost a crime how little I paid for this and another one I just got today, that I won today. But I have a feeling that they may go up. I don't know. But I want to thank Alex the Comic Quarter because he convinced me to start looking at these books and buying them, and now I get it and I appreciate it. But I've got a good old Golden Age book, Wiz Comics number 56, Captain Marvel, good old 10-cent. Captain Marvel. It's got Spy Smasher. It's got the War Stamp. This is a War Stamp cover. I've seen photocopies of this cover, but not the actual cover. But this is the actual cover. Pretty good shape for Golden Age. A little dirty. I think it would clean up really well. It'll definitely go and get cleaned and pressed for my guy probably. If he's watching this, he need to message me. Also, Spy Smasher, Golden Arrow, Ibis the Invincible. I looked up, key issues for Captain Marvel / Shazam, and they don't really talk about many key issues in the Golden Age. They basically talk about, of course, Captain Marvel, his family, and that's about it. Not really any bad guys. So I don't know, and I see other characters, and I wonder if any of their first appearances are in some of these books, because that site doesn't really talk about it. But this awesome cover. Thanks, Alex. And the last book, I also got it for cheap. I think I got this for $10, and it is the Kiss Blood comic, one shot. If you didn't know anything about this comic, basically Kiss went to Marvel. Marvel said, "Let's make a comic." Okay, and to sell it, they said that they had the idea, probably Gene Simmons, since he's the marketing guru. Let's put our blood in the red ink, because that's what they did. They all drew blood, and they dumped it in the red ink, and so they call it the Kiss Blood comic. And I don't see anybody really showing this comic. I don't know why. Every time I watch like a Kiss documentary or something like that, they always mention this comic. They talk all about Kiss. They have so much merchandise and everything else, and they can mention so many things. And usually the two things they mention when it comes to memorabilia about Kiss is the comic book and the ridiculous notion of a Kiss coffin. And so I don't understand why people don't go after this more. But I just saw it for $10. I was like, yes, got it. The art inside is pretty good. I think the cover is pretty cool. The Kiss still has some gloss to it. It's metallic. It's still pretty good. And it's actually a cover. It's a full cover wraparound. And it's got Doctor Doom on the back, doing his Doctor Doom thing. And of course, other characters. But really cool book. I think on the interiors, I haven't looked at it yet. I think it even has pictures of them taking out blood and dumping it in the vial for the red ink. But really cool book, and I'm happy to have it. But that's about it. I'm going a little long. I'm almost at 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Appreciate you watching. I'm going to make a big announcement soon. I'm going to be starting something pretty cool I think people will like. And I'll catch you next time.